Hi everyone, Nerdy Perkins here, talking more One Piece trading card game. And yeah, today it is gonna be pretty easy. We're gonna be talking about what we think the other leaders are gonna be in the base set coming to Japan in July. Sadly not to us in the US until December, but it's okay because we have an awesome community on the Discord, on Discord that can't talk. That's has been compiling, translating. That's how we have all these amazing cards that are in English. They have not. There's no English printing of anything we've seen so far. I think Luffy might have one, and that one is incorrect. But so we have a community translating all these, and awesome people making stuff like this. The tabletop simulator mod that you can download from Steam. It was created by Basically Hawkins, who I'll probably link below because I would not be able to create this video the way I am if he had not done that. So let's dive into the content though. So yeah, it's I could be completely wrong, but I don't play card games. But my assumption would be that we're going to see two leaders of each color being added with the base set. And we'll start kind of towards this end because I think blue and green are going to be pretty easy to kind of, suss out who our extra leader cards are going to be. Because both these decks are featuring, or at least I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but it seems to be how everything's playing out, that these decks are going to be based off of like the worst generation as like a group of pirates. So like Kid, Zoro, Law, Luffy specifically, like that group. And then we're going to have Warlords, which is going to focus on these 7 Warlords of the Sea. And like all the captains who are the various leaders of the group, of the 7 Warlords. So yeah, I think Law was probably, like, we'll start with green. Law is probably the most solid lock for this. I think he's going to be a super easy, like, swap over for the, for Kid, probably. And much like, I think that's going to be the function of kind of the way that green and blue in the what do you call it? Box set works. Is you're going to get a lot of, for green, you're going to get a lot of the supernovas and maybe some of their crew, so you can kind of make your own little deck. So yeah, I think Law's a lock on that. And then the question would be the third slot. So for each of these, I have what I would call a lock, a card I am definitely thinking is going to be part of the group. So that would be Law for green. And then I am guessing, because we're probably going to get a green Luffy and Zoro in the green deck. Like, we might not, because there's enough Force Generation that you can get away with not having them. But, they're both super rookies or supernovas, whatever they're going to end up being called on the cards themselves. But they're, I'd like to have a deck that plays with all of them. Just because, I kind of want to reenact Roof Piece, But anyway, so yeah, I think you could see, you could see maybe this being how they get a Zoro leader in the very first deck. And green, green's his color. It is his color. So, it would be fitting. But I think we could also see, I think the other most solid choice would probably be a Capone. Just if they want to go for like a completely different, like getting a new character and not just another Straw Hat member. And the reason I say him is because much like Kid and Law, he is a what we would call a Straw Hat ally. Helping out the Straw Hats in Whole Cake Island. So it would make complete sense that he could be a leader. And, we have Dottie and Virgo, who would work well as, character. He has a few members and a few different cool things that he could use. Like, you could also, like I mentioned in my previous video, that we could see a stage card being the Capone castle. But we could just as easily see Capone having, like maybe a transformation mechanic where you can place his castle on top of him, something like that. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him kind of in that slot as well, because he fits along with Kid and Law. And then we have our Crocodile, our blue, where I think we're likely going to see other warlords being the heads of these. And honestly, this is a bit more of a toss-up, just because unlike the Worst Generation, where a lot of those guys, like other than like I said, the three I kind of mentioned, Capone, Law, and Kid, like the other ones have been either like villains in the most recent arc, or like Bonnie and Rouge are the other two who we've not really met. So like we don't have a lot of history with them. Unlike that, we have a lot of history with our warlords. So like you could easily slot like a Moria, you could do a you could do like either, like I said, there's a few options. But ultimately there are some that you can kind of easily roll out as leaders. Mihawk probably not going to be a leader, just because he doesn't have a crew. And then we have the same thing with Kuma. So I would probably lean towards the very solid choices. I think Don Quixote is probably what I would call the lock. Either that or Buggy. Like those are probably the two I'm expecting to see. Just because Don Quixote covers a pretty big arc recently, not very recently, but in the latter half of the series. And then you have Buggy and Crocodile kind of representing the early part of the series with an East Blue character who kind of flexes into that warlord status. It kind of they cover the eras that way, but you could also easily see a Moria. He has a crew that's established, and you could do some cool zombie cards, do something really interesting with that. So like I said, the blue, like I thought blue was gonna be a lock, but then I thought about it, and like Boa too. Like they may even do a Boa instead of either Don Quixote or Buggy, just to get a girl leader card, which actually like Boa is probably a pretty solid choice. Those would be my three: Buggy, Don Quixote, or Boa. Would probably be good choices for a blue set. And then we move on over into red and purple, where I think it'll be a little more interesting. I think red's gonna be roughly along the theme of Straw Hat allies. I've seen other people on the Discord saying just about as much. And I think the lock I would say for them is Odin as like a samurai or Wano leader, and if not Odin, Kinemon, just a samurai faction leader. Because we've seen not all, but most of the red scabbards. We've seen Kinemon. Wow, Kappa. Wow, my favorite. Why am I Kawamatsu? Oh, I'm terrible. He's like literally one of my favorites of them. And then we've seen a Kirishiro card, who I think that'll be a purple, honestly, because we've seen, I think we've seen one samurai faction card, and I think it was Yamato, who I believe is a green. Though a lot of the information we've been getting out, like the Kinemon, like anything other than what you've seen, like here, let me anything that you haven't seen that's this is like here, let me do. I'm sure we have it. I'm sure it's in a pile somewhere. I just kind of like threw all the cards up here, just because I was, this was not what you were supposed to see, but I wanted to use an example. But we've seen cards like this, like Alvida, who definitely we know their color, we know everything, and then we've seen stuff like I'm probably gonna pop up on the screen here now, that are cards with the red border but no other information on them. So okay, Alvida, get out of there. Anyway, sorry about that. So like I said, the samurais could all be green or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but I have a pretty good feeling that we're gonna see Odin as a red faction leader. I feel like his character would like kind of fits the Luffy and like other Luffy's play style and like the general red play style. And then the other slot, honestly, like Sabo's probably a solid choice. We've seen a Sabo card. That's another one I'm pretty sure we've seen like a his actual card, and it's red and it says Revolutionary Army. So we could see a Revolutionary Army group. We do have plenty of there's plenty of Revolutionary Army characters to pull from. We have all we what yeah. There's plenty of them. Ivankov, just all kinds. Um, so and that'll lead me to I'm kind of thinking blue and green. Like I said, we're gonna see a lot of like blue and green is gonna be heavy. Blue's gonna see lots of. Oh, the vents are kicking in. Um, hopefully that's not too noticeable. If it is, I apologize. I'm gonna hopefully put maybe some music or something underneath. If it is, I just have really loud vents in my house that are right behind where I'm recording. But I'm gonna power through just so I don't lose kind of my train of thought on everything. But so red, I think, is going to end up being the I'm sorry, green and blue. I think are gonna be heavily worst generation and warlord. Like most of the cards we'll see in these colors will be like either people who are affiliated with these guys or are in some way like are easily like kind of swappable into these decks. And I don't have any experience with trading card games really. My friends play a lot of Magic, but I personally haven't really gotten into any of them, so I don't really know like if like how if this is something they do in these types of card games. But my guess would be that the red leaders are gonna have a lot more cards that you're gonna be trying to get from the booster set to like actually like make the like deck that they would be a part of. While the blue and green, I think, will have leaders that are pretty easily swappable, and usable with everything because they're gonna have like other versions of themselves inside of the deck already. And then like I said, they'll fill them out with those crew members and stuff like that. While red will probably see, like I said, a lot of Straw Hat allies and stuff like that who are going to be fittable into Luffy. So I wouldn't be surprised if we could also see a Straw Hat Grand Fleet member as a like leader card. But honestly, like you can probably build like a whole set off of like having like just releasing a Grand Fleet set with each of those leader like guys being their own leader. So like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like Bartolomeo, all those guys like in the set, but I don't think we'll see one of them as a leader. I think Sabo's probably the other good lock here. And then we move into purple, which I think is gonna just be the Yonko set. The easy lock on this is gonna be Big Mom. We're definitely gonna see a purple Big Mom. Like if I'm wrong, like I'll be very, very, very surprised. And just like with Luffy, I think she has plenty of like other characters, and if you want to build her deck fully, I'm guessing you're gonna be drawing like trying to get lots of her family members as character cards, and they're probably gonna be filling out a lot of the purple booster set would be my guess. And then we could see like a Blackbeard. But as I talked about in my previous video, I'm thinking Kaido's whole deck is gonna be have an added on transformation mechanic once we get this booster set going. So my most likely pick for another leader would be a dragon form Kaido, whether he's just like playable as his own leader or if they have something where you can like have him playable with the base set Kaido. Like maybe you can just do him on his own, or like if you have the base set Kaido, you can kind of like flex and use two different leader abilities. That I think that'd be really cool. Like as I said, as I said in my previous video, I'm like 90% sure, like not 99% sure that we're gonna see zone transformations in this game, and that they're going to function in some ways, shape, or form similar to like evolution in Pokemon or maybe Digimon. Like probably more like Digimon because Bandai Namco's or Bandai. I don't know. It's probably not. Maybe probably not Bandai Namco, but Bandai is making this game. So we'll likely see something similar to Digivolution. I'm gonna try to look into the mechanics of how that works in the Digimon set, and maybe some people in the comments below can let me know if they are familiar with the Digimon card set, because I know a lot of people who are kind of looking into the One Piece trading card game are also into the Digimon game in general. So, I would definitely be interested to hear a little bit more about that. But like I said, I think we're gonna see a Dragon Kaido, and then we'll see a bunch of the other transformations full of the various characters that we see in the Kaido base set, as the kind of characters that kind of fill out this purple deck, or purple grouping in this particular set. And that'll actually, let me flex back over to red real quick, because I forgot to say that if we don't see like a Sabo or a Grand Fleet, I could also see them doing the same exact mechanic with Luffy, where you release a Luffy secondary leader card with Luffy, who is maybe, like I said, playable on his own, or Luffy will have the same thing where he can he can like do something to transform into his Gear 4 form, and that way he'll have he'll have maybe a different, probably a different life pool, and a different, actually that might be how they kind of differentiate these guys. I'm now that I'm thinking about, like, you could also maybe see them having different, maybe we have maybe not so much with Crocodile, like, just because Logia, I mean, you could Logia form, but I don't see that as much. But Kid does have his little Dr. Robotnik thing, so maybe something like that. Maybe each one will have some kind of thing where they can boot, or where they have an extra leader that boosts up. But my guess would be you probably see that as more of a red and purple mechanic, where they kind of do it where they have, like I said, Big Mom and Odin as extra leaders that you kind of like are pulling their full deck from the booster set, and then they each have some extra transformation like mechanics and stuff like that, or an extra leader card of themselves that transforms into, or that makes it so that their leader cards are a little bit more flexible. So maybe we boost up these life pools on each of them in their alternate forms, and they get different abilities. So that that would give a lot of utility to it, to things. But we'll have to see. That's kind of what I'm thinking. If you guys have any thoughts, or think I'm kind of off base on any of this, you can let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for all this, because the decks are coming at a perfect time, because we're gonna be on a break from the One Piece manga for an entire month. Like, geez, like, it's we're in the end times, as they say. We're like very, very strange waters. Not since the time skip have we had a break like this. So I'm very excited for everyone as a fan base. And I don't think it's a coincidence that that this card game is being released in Japan at the very same time Oda's on a break. They probably, someone's very, very smart, doing the marketing and the rollout of all this. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you want to see more stuff, more content like this and stuff, please subscribe. Like I said, I'm just kind of starting this out. I have no idea where it's gonna go. Just I like talking about One Piece, and this card game seems like it's gonna be pretty fun. And there's will probably give us a lot to talk about. So yeah, see you later, guys. Thanks for tuning in.